Coming up on ATV News, there's big news coming from the Pope.
We'll show you what Logan residents have to say about it. And if you had $1 million, think of what you could do with that.
Now think of $3 million. We'll show you what one department is doing with it.
Snow caused some icy conditions this past weekend. Coming up on weather, I'll tell you if you need to worry about it again this week.
All that and more coming up right now on your ATV News.
Welcome to ATV News. I'm Emily Landine.
And I'm Kelton Wells.
A new message and one of the last from Pope Benedict XVI was announced Monday morning.
Katrina Warburton has more on Logan's opinion of his surprising statement.
Declaro, me ministerio episcopi Rome, successor Sancti Petri, mi permanens cardinalium.
After 8 years of serving, Pope Benedict XVI has decided to resign. He confessed to 50 cardinals Monday morning that his strengths are no longer suited to an adequate exercise of the Petrine ministry, but it was still quite a shock to hear that a pope had resigned.
Well, there hasn't been one since Gregory XII, which was in 1415, and that was as a result of the Council of Constance. So, although he's technically retired, he more or less was forced into retirement by an international council of the church.
I trust that Pope Benedict was very prayerful about this and didn't make this decision rashly or didn't take it lightly. I mean, the papacy is an incredibly demanding job.
A pope resigning hasn't happened in almost 600 years, and it was a quick reaction to his declaration.
Like everybody else in the world, surprised, most popes die.
I thought, good, that's a good idea. Why don't you do that? The things he's had to say about the religious community and Muslim communities in particular have been rather polarizing. He's done a good job of tackling the Catholic Church's tough issues. So the abuse scandals he has stepped into with more energy than his predecessor did, and for that he should be credited.
Benedict has, for his own reasons, gone about it in a very different way. So I was very surprised, though, indications had been given.
Katrina Warburton, ATV News.
The Pope will officially retire on the 28th of February. He is 85 years old.
It's early Saturday morning. You have a lot to do, but you don't quite want to get up yet. What if getting out of bed could help your local government work better? Last Saturday, a crowd of about 50 individuals gathered together to ask questions to their state legislators. This weekly meeting was created to give Cache Valley residents a chance to voice their concerns directly to their representatives. The event also allowed residents to get to know their representatives better.
These meetings are really important on a lot of levels, and people that attend them really help the legislators develop better policy or implement better policy or support things that ought to be supported.
These meetings are really valuable for us because we're face to face with our constituents. They call us state representatives for a reason. We are supposed to represent those who elect us.
Future meetings will be held on Saturdays at 7:30 in Cache Valley County administrative offices. If you knew something was wrong, would you do it anyway? Utah State University is a dry campus, but what happens to those who get caught drinking? Lee Kubik shows us more.
This scene may be common on other campuses, but USU is a dry campus.
Utah State has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to on-campus drinking, especially at dorms such as the LLC.
Fraternities such as Sigma Chi have taken steps to go along with the university's policy.
We check the IDs, we then catalog everyone that comes through that door so we have records of who's been in our house and who we admitted through that front door.
We don't allow alcohol at anything that we do, and like I said, that just helps eliminate a lot of the potential risks involved with that.
Students still try to drink on campus and must face the consequences, reaching nearly $1,000.
If you've been drinking the breathalyzer and you've been drinking that night, you get a ticket. And what that ticket is, it's a minor in possession of alcohol. The students will have to go to court. They'll give the students probation, so then they have to meet with a probation officer. They'll make students go out to what they call a jail diversion, where they do community service. And then they do a project reality where they go out and listen to some inmates out of the jail. And then they have to do alcohol educational classes.
Students should decide if breaking the policy is really worth it. Lee Kubik, ATV News.
For more information on the policy, go to the USU Health and Wellness Center's webpage on usu.edu.
Utah has some of the lowest gas prices in the nation, but those prices have gone up in the last few weeks. The average price of a gallon of regular gas in Utah is $3.25. According to the AAA Daily Fuel Gauge report, prices have dropped below $3 a gallon in Utah earlier in the winter. The national average for a gallon of regular gas is $3.58, making Utah the third lowest state for the average price in the country, behind Montana and Wyoming. Utah's average gas price was $2.86 a month ago, a 39-cent price increase.
We'll keep it here on ATV News.
Because after the break, we'll show you how USU celebrates a New Orleans tradition, Aggie style.
And how $3 million have helped one department at USU.
All that and more coming up on ATV News. When you think of Mardi Gras, you probably think of music, beads, and masks.
But rules at USU's version of the New Orleans tradition put some restrictions on the costumes. Jenna Lynn has more on the story.
Mardi Gras is full of traditions, perhaps one of the most iconic of these being its extravagant masks, something that USU's version didn't allow.
I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to wear masks. Just because I don't see how masks would be bad.
I personally don't care if people wear masks or if they don't, especially with masquerade masks. Usually it's only barely covering the eyes. What's that going to do?
Basically, everyone always asks, well, Mardi Gras, I want to be able to wear my masquerade mask. But really, it's just a matter of safety. We want to be able to see if there was ever an incident, who's involved in things like that.
But there are some Mardi Gras traditions that USU worked to uphold, along with some new ones as well.
The tradition with Mardi Gras is we always have our full casino, so of course that will be the main feature, and that will be held in the ballroom. And then we also have our dance floor in the field house. Some new things we're adding is we have a reptile museum. We have 30 to 40 turtles, crocodiles, lizards, and snakes. And then we have airbrush tattoo artists coming and a full oxygen bar, all different sorts of flavors for students to try.
Even though Logan is bringing a new style to Mardi Gras, students were still able to find that New Orleans style right here at USU.
I love all the costumes and the beads and stuff. I love Mardi Gras. I think it's so fun.
Casino night, I'm looking forward to because I'm badass at blackjack, so I'm probably going to do really well at that. It should be a good night.
Mardi Gras!
Jenna Lynn, ATV News.
Even though some classic Mardi Gras traditions aren't used, USU's unique way of hosting the event is proving successful. Event organizers say that more people are attending each year.
What could you do with $3 million? How about fund an entire department at Utah State University? That's what the Fry Street Quartet is doing, and they showed their appreciation to sponsors this weekend. The Fry Street Quartet played in the Performance Hall in honor of Manon Kane and Dan C. Russell, who awarded an endowment of $3 million to the quartet. The quartet played alone and alongside current students and returning alumni to thank the couple for the large donation. Students gave the couples flowers at the end of the show, and the crowd gave a standing ovation. The donation will go to the Kane College of the Arts and will help pay the salaries of the quartet. This allows them to continue playing for audiences and continue teaching their students.
From my teacher, Robert Waters, who's the first violinist of the quartet, I get a lot of detail as far as like playing the instrument is concerned that I probably wouldn't get anywhere else, especially within the state.
The Fry Street Quartet has been teaching students at USU for the last 10 years, and they say this donation will allow them to continue teaching for many more years to come.
You have your own personal style, and local bands do too. ATV's Tamara Bradley went to find out what kind of fashion trends local musicians are creating.
Little Barefoot, Filthy and the McNasties, and Children of the North are all local bands that took the stage at the TSC Thursday as part of USU Education Week. Each band has its own unique individual style.
Typically by myself, I write more folky stuff. You can tell I like the folk influence in our songs.
I guess independent rock, I would say, or it was kind of our style.
So what's with the beanie and the glasses? Is this whole indie look the way they dress all the time, or is it just for band costume?
We just kind of dress how we usually do on a normal day.
I'd probably dress a lot nicer if I wasn't a musician.
The band members have an eclectic mix of clothing from across the world.
The shirt and the sweatshirt are from Japan.
Well, I got this hat when I was being a cowboy for a week up in Wyoming.
Yeah, they are real. I got these in London.
The jacket I really like, but I got it specifically to do shows in, just because it's a nice jacket and I can play really well in it.
This is Japan too.
The fans get into the music fashion as well.
They're very interesting people. They're just the kind of kids, like, they get all their weird sweaters at the DI and they come and they come and dance and have a great time at our show because they just love our music.
I just close my eyes and get into the music and don't really care.
Tamara Bradley, ATV News.
Logan is home to a wide variety of musicians with growing fan bases. If you want to see a show, local bands play regularly at venues throughout Cache Valley.
This past weekend brought with it a lot of snow, as well as some things that weren't expected. Winter Storm Nemo crashed into New England. In some areas, the snow was piled 3 feet deep. Schools, businesses, and even roads were closed down as everyone was trying to dig out. Also, adding to the extreme weather, a large tornado, which is abnormal for this time of year, touched down in Mississippi. And not to be left out, Cache Valley was also digging out this past weekend.
Well, as cold as it is here and as much as I hate the snow, I'm glad we're not dealing with tornadoes.
Yeah, I don't think we can expect any of that crazy weather here in Cache Valley. But I will tell you what to expect this week coming up after the break. You know, last week was Groundhog's Day, but we were told it was going to be in early spring, but it sure doesn't seem like that. It's been cold.
I would love if an early spring could come though.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can hope for?
Oh, well, we'll see. You know, let's take a look at Old Main outside. Right now we can see it's pretty overcast, not much wind. It was snowing a little bit earlier today, but it looks like that snow has stopped. Currently it is 24 degrees outside. Let's check out what's been going on around the nation. As you can see in the southeast, we've been having some crazy weather occurring. In fact, just over the weekend, they had some tornado activity, which is a little rare since tornado season is usually early spring through the month of June. This is a picture of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, near the University of Southern Mississippi. And as you can see, the tornado did some extensive damage. Going over to the mid and northwest, we could see that we have 2 storms happening, but we're going to concentrate a little bit more on this one over here. This storm is moving south, so we can expect that it will dip into Cache Valley a little bit. But I'm going to talk about that in just a second. On to our 5-day forecast. Tuesday, our high is going to be near 24 and a low of 10. Wednesday is when we're going to actually see that snow coming. There's a 30% chance of it falling. And if it does snow, expect a little less than half an inch, but it will fall early in the morning. So be careful with that morning commute because it could be pretty icy. Thursday we have a high of 34. Again, mostly cloudy, and it will have a 30% chance of snow. On to Friday, our highs are 31 and a low of 12. It's going to clear up though, so we're going to have some better, sunshine that day. And then on to Saturday, we can expect about the same temperatures. Will be in the low 30s. So that's it for the week. It's going to be cold and icy, but I should rather have that than the tornadoes from you guys.
Yeah,
That's definitely
absolutely.
true. I definitely agree.
Take what I can get.
Well, don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Courtney Robinson will have your sports.
Only on ATV Sports right after the break.
Hey y'all, I'm Courtney Robinson and I'm here with your ATV Sports. Well, Devin Christensen only needed 9 points to break the record since 1980. So, did it happen? Our own Victoria Carden was there with the details.
It's this three-point shot that would make history for Devin Christensen. She set the new record for the most all-time career points at USU.
Well, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't stop the game just because we're in the flow of it and it's kind of awkward, but that's what they do.
Here's Devin scoring another of many three-pointers.
Devin Christensen needed 9 points to break the record that's been in place for over 30 years. But she didn't stop there. She's gotten a total of 12 points leading up to halftime. The score is 45-19 to the Aggies.
The second half gets going with Christensen getting the rebound and assisting freshman McKinley Williams. The freshman played well. Here is Haley Thompson with 2 and freshman Stephanie Bairstow with a layup. Here's Franny Bayalou with a basket, and not to be forgotten, senior Jenna Johnson with her own basket. Crystal Turner had a big night as well, as did the entire team, coming out on top, 87-54. After the game, Christensen took pictures with fans and hugged her parents.
I had family here, and so it was just a special moment, a culmination of a good 4 years.
We just played really solid tonight, and this is how we want to head into the tournament and hopefully make it to the NCAAs.
We're in a good place right now. We're in a very good place confident-wise. We're in a very good place with who we are, with our expectations we have for ourselves.
Victoria Carden, ATV Sports.
Senior Devin Christensen was also named America's First Credit Union Athlete of the Week. The team will be on the road in Denver on Thursday. Well, the Aggie hockey team had a trio of matches. Our own Meredith Kinney takes us to the rink.
Looking to make a statement against the number 3 team in the West, the Aggies came out strong. Stu Hepburn scored a goal, and Cooper Lim added another. But it was Dee Fontaine who put the Aggies on top for good.
I loved it. Everybody came to play. It was a different atmosphere inside the locker room. They were taking it serious.
On Friday, the Aggies took on CU. Facing a team ranked closer to 11 or 12, the skaters had a complete meltdown. Frustrations flared as they failed to find the back of the net over and over. That, combined with unnecessary penalties, led the Aggies to their 4th loss of the season.
It is so sad that we as a team implode like this. I'm very frustrated with the amount of penalties that we took.
With the Nationals auto bid hanging in the distance, it was redemption time for the Aggies. CSU was back, and so were the Aggies. Tied in the 3rd period, Matt Hamilton finds Gary Higgs, who breaks the tie as he's falling. 2 more insurance goals gave the Aggies the win.
Against a top team like this, it's definitely to get a big win. Good to get a big win like this.
Final rankings are out, and the Aggies are still holding strong at number 1 in the West. Meredith Kinney, ATV Sports.
Aggie hockey team is in Logan for their final home matchup this Friday. Well, you might not understand how gymnastics scoring works, but that didn't make any less exciting Friday night. A little over 0.3 of a point was all that separated the Aggies from their victory over the Air Force Academy.
The struggling Utah State team was looking for their first win this season on Friday night. The Aggies were dressed in pink supporting breast cancer awareness when they matched up against Air Force Academy. Utah State started the meet on vault, spinning their way to great scores by Sarah Landis, who scored a 9.85, and Paige Jones, who also scored 9.85. The Aggies then moved to the uneven bars, where Kenzie Martinez stole the show. Scoring a game high of 9.77 for that event. After 2 events, the Aggies are leading Air Force, but just barely. Up next are balance beam and floor. 2 events that the Aggies struggled with last time, but let's see if they can fix their mistakes. The Aggies did tighten it up on floor, but Air Force answered right back. It all came down to the balance beam, where the Aggies stuck their landings, while Air Force just had one too many falls. The Aggies won with a score of 193.575 to 193.200, and Sarah Landis was the all-around winner.
I'm really happy. I had a couple bobbles and stuff, but I was still able to pull out a good all-around score and the win.
It is nice to have the win, but we got to work on some things. You know, we got to get our scores up there.
Brandon Fonda, ATV News.
The Aggies travel to California this week when they face San Jose State. The men's tennis team was on a roll over the weekend, picking up 2 more home wins and taking down the Bobcats and the Wildcats. The Aggies claimed their second home win after wrapping up a weekend of matches. The Aggie men took down Montana State Bobcats at the Sports Academy and Racket Club this Friday, defeating them 5-2. The Aggies earned double points after winning 2 straight matches and then winning 4 single matches. Senior Sven Posluszny once again earned the #1 single spot after taking down Montana State's Nicholas Brandeis in the second straight sets, 3-6, 6-1. The #2 spot went to Freddie Peterson after defeating Marcus Schutler in double sets. In doubles action, shutting down the Bobcats, Posluszny and Fritz won 8-3, claiming the first position.
We played much more solid and just competed pretty hard. Everybody's doing a good job, and I think overall we did a pretty good performance. Good. I served really well today, so I'm happy about that. I think I can improve a little bit more on my ground stroke game, but overall I'm really happy with my win.
The Aggies' next home match will be this Saturday, the 16th, when the Aggies take on Mesa State. So this weekend, on Valentine's Day, on Thursday, we have an Aggie game, and so it'll be really exciting. So hopefully, we'll have a good fan base on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it seems like a nice day.
Do you have any plans?
Valentine, you can bring them to a basketball game, see the Aggies win, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, keep it here on ATV News, because after the break, we'll show you a Valentine's Day dance that will warm your heart.
How do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Well, one group on campus got the party started early. Best Buddies is an organization that pairs a USU student with a special needs student or person to allow for friendships and leadership skills. They hosted one of their monthly meetings for their members last Wednesday as a dance.
The one-on-one friendships is the best part for me. My buddy's name is Devon, and so we get together all the time, and when we have hard times we talk, and we have good times we talk and have fun, and so that's the best part.
Well, each member has a buddy right now. Best Buddies will be looking for new members next fall. Well, it is going to be Valentine's Day is right around the corner. It should be quite fun.
That is right. Valentine's Day is coming up, so be sure to tune in Thursday for a special Cash Rendezvous all about the Big V Day.
Thanks for watching, y'all.
We'll see you guys next time.